See you God. Hello, all. Good afternoon, good afternoon, Wado. Thank you for watching. So this is day 33 of reading Lone Wolf Alpha Squad copy over by James Rink, and these are his experiences. And let me see. This is under memory fragments. Okay. I'm gonna do 2 of these a day so we can get through this book faster, and I don't stack so many on myself. All right, so there was also a list of how many humans were being abducted each year and brought back to Orion Prime for rituals. About 75,000 people. These Earth humans would be forced to participate in blood-drinking rituals that contained pentagrams and other strange things. They also did this to Greys, though I don't know how many of them were being abducted. The subjects would then have their memories erased, and they were brought back in a traumatized state. So is that adrenochrome stuff? I have no idea. When my friend was reading this report, my finger was covering up some of the numbers, so he asked me to move it out of the way. After focusing my intent, I saw myself slowly moving my talons out of the way. Move your finger a little bit more. Good. There is also, okay, this is what it says. There is also a list which shows how many spaceships the reptilians had given to the shadow government, about 100. As well as the amount of credit each ship was worth. I see pictures of brown robotic Greys with metal appendages, and how many of these were given to the US government each year, about 100,000 units. These beings do not have souls and are simply biological androids, enhanced with nanotechnology. They are prone to breaking down often. It appears they are being used for some kind of breeding program. Inside these robots is a round receptacle between the legs. There is some kind of device which makes contact with a male human penis and extracts semen. It's then stored inside the unit and injected with nanotechnology to alter it. Once the semen is changed, the robot puts on a different receptacle and implants the semen into an unwitting female human. These beings are also used to drug people. They can also target people they don't like and infect them with illnesses. I'm not sure what to make of this. I feel like it is true, and I felt like I was really there, so I will let you decide what to believe. This next piece was given to me by another MyLab who recalls seeing me on the spaceships. We were on a spaceship. You were tall, had dark blonde hair, and wore a green uniform that had an insignia which contained 2 pyramids. You look more alien than human, though. I wanted to learn about my life, so I had another MyLab survivor try to remote view a computer which contained this data. The following is a session we did together. And this is in quotes. Well, I forgot to mention that the others was in quotes, but I think you get it. Adam sees a bright orb shining in his eyes. He traced it back to the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and then to the Pentagon. I had him try to trace it inside the Pentagon, but he saw the place was highly shielded, preventing penetration by remote viewing. Of course it is. He goes back and he goes back to the Capitol building and enters a room. On the floor is a red 6x6 oriental carpet. Underneath is a wooden hatch which opens up to the staircase. On the right side of the stairs is a metal wall. The left side opens up to a larger storage room that is perhaps 40 feet long by 20 feet wide. On the left side of this larger room are tubes about 5 foot in width and 7 feet in height, in quotes. I assume these are cryogenic vats, in quotes. On the left wall is a bank of 12 very advanced computer towers, possibly connected to the artificial intelligence system, 3 of which are turned off. There are 4 white guys, which all look the same, and 1 black guy. They don't see Adam, but they sense he is there and give him a nasty look. At this point, Adam comments. He can see everything, even though his eyes are closed. As Adam approaches the computers, they all turn on and begin processing files consisting of names and addresses. On top of one of the computers is a serial code which reads serial code number 13374, SIDR numbers, SCCIC number, Timothy Adams. SIDR numbers might stand for Secure Interdomain Routing, which requires a special certificate in order to access a secured network. Can't find out what SCCIC numbers are. Excuse me, around I don't know if I missed the end quotes, but I'm going to tell you, some of these quotation marks are like in different areas because they have different writing for different things, and it's just not adding up. But anyway, around this time, the phone connection breaks up. After redialing a few times, we successfully make a connection and clear our field from any negative energy. He recalibrates his position and is back in the area. He goes to the terminal and types my name into the search screen. I see 11 to 14 different profiles or aliases. The first one is in 1986, the next one is 1999, and there is a new one for each year thereafter. It reads, James Michael Rink, date July 17, 1986. Shows a picture of me. I am much younger. I would have been 6 years old then. It looks like a snapshot they took at their facility and not something you would find in a family album. Eesh. Below the picture is all the information they had on me at the time. SCIS is blank, height 4 foot blank inches, question mark, weight 90, question mark, area of attendance, Jackson's, a bunch of random numbers, date of chair 88. Next profile, date 1999, snapshot of me older, I would have been 19 then. Serial number 1654432897766. This serial number appears to be my clone ID number. Below that is another picture of what looks to be my clone, a 3D image. You can move the screen around and see the body in full detail. Whoa, like the video games when you turn your avatar around. According to the information, it seems that 1999 is the first year I got a cloned avatar body. And I get a new one every year after that. But they don't call it an avatar. They call it a Sibeus, S-I-B-E-U-S, and later Arbeus, A-R-B-E-U-S. The profile goes on to say that I was trained starting in 1986, but I started real missions in 1999, so he skips to the last one, which is in 2006. Height, question mark, weight, question mark, cloned Arbeus, A-R-B-E-U-S, no. Field compromised. MG64IT, gunnery, KIA, revived, attempt failed. Final revive failed. Under investigation and repair. March 14, 2006. I couldn't find any info on the MG64IT gunnery, but I found that MG64 is a type of machine gun, possibly World War II era. Perhaps they sent me back in time to World War II, and the cloned avatar died while in combat. On the next page, we read, main project, project name recovery, project surrogate, operations. He sees about 20 to 30 here included: Operation Live On, Operation Tailboat, Operation Ravensky, R-A-V-E-N-S-K-Y, or Raven Sky, Operation Pink Mist, Operation 714, Operation Cyanide, Operation Torpedo, Operation Eyes On, Operation Purple Mist, Operation Stinky Eye, Operation Stargate, Operation Cyanide/2, Operation You Are Not Supposed to Be Here, You Are Supposed to Leave. That's weird. Then a bunch of smiley faces in XS, like letter XS. At this point, the computer shows gibberish and he breaks the link. Sadly, a few weeks later, I had Adam go back to the same location and all the computers were gone. The Jackson facility seems to come up quite often, though I have no memories of it. You may have noticed it says I was part of Project Surrogate and Project Name Recovery. Project Name Recovery involves taking star seeds from off-world and giving them new identities or new bodies on this world. Project Surrogate is a 6,000-year-old genetic breeding experiment which involved placing batches of test tube cloned embryos that were ideal super soldier candidates into surrogated mothers. So instead of raising us under prison-like laboratory settings, they would implant us into surrogate Illuminati families. They did this because they found us to be stronger fighters if we had families to take care of us. Also, test tube babies do not have a soul unless they are inseminated into a souled surrogate mother. The procedure is usually performed around the age of 6 weeks. 95% of super soldiers went through Project Surrogate. I was able to get some more information about Project Surrogate from another Monarch victim. She managed to attack her handlers and escape down a hallway in an underground facility. She found a room with a filing cabinet containing our files, and thanks to her photographic memory, she began memorizing everything. According to her, I was patient number 320 of 720 in Project Surrogate. Patient 320, this is in quotes, your embryo was delayed so it could be mutated many times. It seemed to be in different forms at different times. Your embryo was worked on for a span of 7 years. I see your embryo begin as a fish for a while. You are aquatic like the others, but your main DNA is fish DNA. You are used for Project Seagate. Now, I'm not sure if you're aware, but in IVF, there are places where you can go and have the baby's eyes, eye color, and I think hair color. I can't remember how they started it out, but it was in California first, if memory serves. And they were calling that like an abomination, that you could kind of like order your baby up or whatever it was when they're doing all this. You know what I'm saying? And then it has progressed, and I don't understand what the issue is, that you can do some other things. Now, I would never want to alter my child's eye color, hair color, whatever. What I would love to do is to be able to save our children, all of our children, right, that come through from debilitating diseases, medical conditions, whatever it is, so that they can then live out their life productively and be like a good elevator of our society as far as discoveries and like, you know what I'm talking about, like just lift up our society in a positive direction. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, still got time. All right, I also saw crocodile DNA. You're an underwater mutant. Crocodile DNA makes you strong, and fish DNA enhances sensory inputs. I also see DNA from Hitler's SS race. The reason you are so weak and fatigued is to keep you under control, but you are the opposite when you are activated. They care more about our work in other dimensions by putting this DNA in us. We can access the abilities from energy waves in other dimensions. I believe this race of crocodile-snouted reptilians are called the Vlash, V-L-A-S-H. The commander in charge of their species is CEO Zerox, CEO Xerox. They own they own thousands of souls in which they have converted into cyborgs. They are stationed on the moon base Mars. They're always near me. They know everything about me, my soul, how I got here, my race. These crocodiles are not really their own race. What? These crocodiles are not really their own race. I think it's clearly a typo. Genetically, they are 38% Ciacar, Ciakahrr, and 62% Alpha Draconian. As per the Nazi SS DNA, what I can gather is 13% of my DNA is from my father, and he is some kind of negative cyborg Pleiadian who is in charge of the Surrogated Project and views Earth as his creation. Project Surrogate. My surrogation process began in an alternate reality in which Earth was destroyed. My story begins when I was 16 years old. This is what it says. When I was 16-year-old teenager that just left a galactic private school ship. I went home to live with my parents in giant marble mansion in an urban cyberpunk city, which I think is on a breakaway planet in the Canis, C-A-N-I-S, major system controlled by Dark Fleet. The year is 2179 from our planet Earth's perspective. We were so rich that our house on the hill was the biggest in the city. I remember seeing wall screens and robots inside the home, and outside we were right near downtown, and there were flying cars in the sky. All right, I'll leave it there. Don't go hang. Winnie, good chance. Can you me again? Love you, mean it.